know what? There was one thing I wanted to begin to think about. I feel like I might have talked about this. This would have been a long time ago now, actually. I think I've talked before about how I wanted to do some more lights in here, because as soon as I put that floor in, all of this is going to get so dark. And at nighttime, we already see how dark it can get, so I want to figure that out. Now, I also want to do some sort of ceiling decorations. Speaking of it getting dark. So I wonder if I could grab some of that. I have a chandelier hanging right here. Alright, so that was 3, 4, 5. Okay. So if I do something like this, and do this, did that achieve a single thing? Not really. Does this help? Kind of. Okay. Well, I could put another one here and another one here. If I keep them at the same height as that, which was yeah, 4 blocks off of that. It's not, well, first off, it's not going to do anything. You know, because this is going to be so far from where it would be hanging from. But I think that will probably be fine. Let's say that you could more immediately change yourself. I'm saying that you just accept and embrace the idea of not being you, quote unquote. Because what I'm thinking with this line of thoughts is perhaps it would be some kind of combination of the two, of the box and as well the boat idea, the ship idea. So if the box idea is that everything is inside, and the ship is acknowledging everything outside, there's all these little things that you can do that are changing you, but obviously no one's going in to get eye surgery and now they're someone else entirely. They're obviously still the same person. It's just the eyes are now a little bit different. They can actually see for one. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about how would you, if you change both, you could take both and then knowingly change it and hold, say, like 2 states of these changes as still being correct versions of the person, if you think about it, or alternatively reject it at the same time. And the reason why is because you could always have different ways that maybe you just exist under. So instead of thinking about yourself, what about thinking about someone else? Where, how, I guess, correct would be your own assessment of someone. You can definitely sense a change, but that's because it's a change that now you are aware of. And because you are aware of it, you've taken note of it. But there is a possibility that change didn't just happen right at that moment. It was a change that was maybe going on for a while. Another thing is that it could be a change that you just never had that moment to go, oh, this is different, until that moment. Like you go over to a friend's house and you don't notice, because you don't give a shit, you don't notice that they've moved their sofa. And it's because the sofa only got moved maybe 3 feet to the left to make room for a table. You aren't going to care. You aren't going to notice because you don't care. And then now that maybe your friend has pointed out, because they asked, oh, what do you think of my new room arrangement? And you go, what are you talking about? That's when they tell you what's up with the sofa, with the new table. Maybe they have a new book on that table. Maybe they have a new lamp. You might have noticed the lamp, but you may not have noticed everything else, is what I'm also saying. Because you could still notice things, but you may not notice the whole thing. I don't think this makes any sense. Clearly, with what I've just explained, that kind of means that you were right that there was a change, but you were incorrect in not noticing the entire change. But let's say you never noticed anything to begin with. Are you necessarily right for not noticing the change and thinking that there was no change because there was nothing, say, substantial enough to seem like it for it to seem like a change? Aren't you kind of in the right as well, just for your own sake, because there wasn't a change that mattered to you? It didn't seem like there was a change. Because now we're getting into the idea of a change that did happen, and then a change that felt like it happened. How different can you actually be? And is it okay to be that different? Or are you just sort of lying to other people because you are not being who you are? Because we can all strive to be better people, but you do see this from time to time, where you get someone that is this awesome person who does a lot for their community, who it turns out that they're actually kind of just a complete fucking douchebag. But you don't see that, because all that they are projecting out is this frankly ideal idea, where yeah, they are a good person because like they are this like perfect image because they are this person that does these things that people that I guess the world typically will see as being a good thing. And of course, people who then find out the reality of it will get upset because they realize that this person actually isn't these things. But are they those things? They did do these things. But are we upset because they were done under the now what we realize as being these like kind of malicious intents? Or was there even a malicious intent to begin with? Could it have also been that this person just did these things to do these things, but at the same time they're also still an asshole? How right are we actually in that perceptions? If they were trying to be deceptive with this or not? Like we find out that like we actually are able to we get an admission from them. Like yeah, I did all these things so that you would think of me as being a bad person I actually am. Instead, I stole candy from children. Because technically, they still did kind of contribute to the world, in like a positive way because of like the again this hypothetical of them opening up a whole like a homeless shelter. But they did take away because of being this terrible person, and then now how we look at that person, that's then just on us for how we decide to look at them at the end of all of it. And who is correct? As I'm now putting the plate away in the cabinet, how do you truthfully show who you are and be who you are? Do you just be this terrible hypothetical asshole in my example? Do you just do that because, hey, at least you're honest about it? Because that kind of sounds miserable. Do you pretend to be something else? That already also sounds kind of miserable, but maybe not as much as just being perpetual nuisance. Do you evaluate it off of what you think other people are going to see it for? And because of that, this is kind of why I have simultaneously enjoyed playing this game for the past while, because I've just been able to not have to worry about stuff. But then it's also why I have fucking hated playing this game, because it makes me not have to think about a lot of stuff, but then I start thinking about a lot of stuff. And the only reason I don't not play this game is because it does kind of feel like I have stuff I gotta do with this I said I would do. But I also, because I do want to see how like this world will end up looking, because it already looks so cool with all the stuff that we've done anyway. So it would just be kind of, I feel like it would just be kind of a poor choice to just give up on this when so much has been done. When I've already put so much like time and planning into this. In fairness, I guess it isn't a lot of planning, because there's a lot of spontaneous stuff that I will do, but I think it'll be worth it to be able to look through the windows of this cathedral, see it from afar, see it from inside, and know where it started and then where it got to. Yeah, I see you. Great, so there's now a little surprise down there that I will have to deal with at some point. Can you not get up here? Weird. I keep hearing footsteps.